Everything was perfect until one choice changed the course of humanity forever. In the Garden of Eden, God created paradise. Adam and Eve had everything, but in the midst of beauty and freedom, there was one boundary. Genesis 3:1. The serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. Satan, disguised as a serpent, approached Eve with a question that would test everything. Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden? Eve responded honestly. Genesis 3:2-3. Of course we may eat fruit. It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. If you do, you will die. But the serpent lied. Genesis 3:4. You won't die. God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil. Tempted by the desire to gain wisdom, Eve took the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate too. Genesis 3:7. At that moment their eyes were opened, and they suddenly felt shame at their nakedness. They sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Then they heard God walking in the garden, and they hid. Genesis 3:9. Then the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" Adam confessed he was afraid because he was naked. When God asked if they ate the forbidden fruit, Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. God declared consequences for all three. To the serpent, Genesis 3:15. And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. To the woman, Genesis 3:16. You will bear children with intense pain and suffering, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. To the man, Genesis 3:17. The ground is cursed because of you. By the sweat of your brow will you have food to eat until you return to the ground from which you were made. Even in judgment, God showed mercy. Genesis 3:21. And the Lord God made clothing from animal skins for Adam and his wife. God covered their shame, showing that sin brings death, but also that God still provides. Then God said, Genesis 3:22. Look, the human beings have become like us, knowing both good and evil. To prevent them from eating from the tree of life and living forever in a fallen state, he banished them from the garden. Genesis 3:24. After sending them out, the Lord God stationed mighty cherubim to the east of the Garden of Eden. They guarded the way to the tree of life. Humanity fell that day, but God's plan to restore us began right then. A promise of one to come, who would crush the serpent and redeem what was lost. The fall isn't the end. It's just the beginning of God's rescue plan. Like, subscribe and comment, redeemed, if you're grateful for a God who didn't give up on us, even in the garden.